Dear semi-candidates, welcome you for today's lesson. I am Waiso Saddam. Why do I call you semi-candidates? Actually, you have very few months to get to P7. Now, there are some things that you should put in yourself before even you get to be a candidate. 1. You must do work willingly. You should do your work willingly. 2. You should have passion for your work. The other reason is now you are doing your work from home. Sometimes the parents are not around you. I realized I got a call from one of the parents that some of you play during the lessons. Now I want you to be self-driven. Even when no one is supervising you, sit down and do your work. Because this is your work. It is for your future. And it's going to benefit you. When you misuse it, but all I can say, I encourage you to love your work, do your work peacefully. No one should push you, and with passion. Now, last time we talked about very many things. Do you still recall what we learned last time? I left you with an activity. Basically, we are handling the different tribal groups. When I say tribal groups, I simply mean ethnic groups. So we finished the Bantu. We are also dealing with the Nilotes, which are subdivided into 3. For instance, the Nilotics, the Plain Nilotes, and the Highland Nilotes. We are done with the Nilotics or River Lake Nilotes. I left you with an activity that I want to go through, and we see if we did it very well. Now, let's go through the activity very quickly. Have a pencil. If your answer is correct, you put a tick. If it's not correct, you cross it. And if you did not put anything, please put a question mark. Be honest. Don't fix there your answer very fast and you get a big tick. No. Just make corrections perfectly and read the correct answers. Question number: what was the main occupation of the Nilotics? That is cattle keeping. Someone can also say pastoralism. Pastoralism. And can cross-check with the spelling. It is T-O, pastoralism. Let's get to question number 2. Mention the 3 subgroups of the Nilotics in Kenya. Remember, after Pugungu, when they had misunderstandings, they went to different parts. Now, those who went to Kenya, they divided themselves into 3. And which are these subgroups? 1, I expect you to have the Jok or Winnie, and the Jok or More. Please, may you check your spellings? When the spelling is not okay, that is automatically wrong. Don't mark it correct. Okay? Question number 3. Why are the Nilotics referred to as Luo speakers? Why are they sometimes called Luo speakers? The answer is simple. They speak Luo languages, or they use Luo as their language. How did the Alul tribe come into existence in East Africa? How did it come? Where did it come from? Okay, it was after the intermarriage between all of the Nilotics and the Lendu. Remember, one group of the Nilotics crossed River Nile and went to the West Nile. They met the Lendu, intermarried with them, and they gave rise to a new race of people, or a new group of people, or a new tribe known as the Alul. Most of them are located in West Nile. Okay? We have number 5. Where did the Luo speakers first settle when they entered Uganda or East Africa? That is Pugungu, which is currently known as Pakwachi. Number 6. How was the Luo Babito dynasty formed? How was it formed? So it was co-founded by Luo and the Bito clan under the leadership of Isingoma Rokidi Mpuga as the founder of the Luo Babito dynasty. To tell you, the Luo Babito dynasty is currently known as the Bunyoro Kingdom. So the founder of Bunyoro Kingdom was Isingoma Rukidi Mpuga. Let's go to the next question. Where was the original homeland of the Nilotics? That is Bahr el Ghazal in southern Sudan, or present-day South Sudan. Why is Pbung remembered in the history of the River Lake Niles? It's where the Nilotics first settled after entering Uganda or East Africa. It was their first place of settlement when they left Bahr el Ghazal to East Africa. Hopefully, my good children have passed every question. If you have passed everything, that's great. I'm really grateful to have you in my classes. Now, if you missed out some few because of spelling mistakes, you can go ahead to correct them, make a good corrections, and have your work well written. Now, what are we going to have today? Today we are going to have another group, subgroup or group of the nails, and those are the plain nails. Where did they come from? Which kinds of work were they doing? Examples of tribes in East Africa, and how they influence the people they met in, or affect the people they met in East Africa. And that is basically what we are going to look at. And you must be attentive, because during the lesson, you must also be able to explain about the plain Nilotes. Now, I told you that I'll be moving with my map, this map here. This map shows the movement or the direction through which different ethnic groups used to enter Uganda. When you look at it, you see Bantu everywhere. So Bantu used western direction to enter East Africa. There are also some Bantu who used the southern direction. What about the Nilotics? Which direction did they use to enter East Africa? Actually, they used northern direction through Uganda. That's what I expect you to say. They used northern direction through Uganda. What about the plain? The plain and highland used the same route, or nearly the same route. To enter Uganda, they used the northeastern direction. Or to enter East Africa, you can still say the same. They used northern direction through Kenya and Uganda. Are we there? Then the Hamites, they used the northeastern direction to enter East Africa. That was through northeastern Kenya. And you have to put that information just at your fingertips. Now, what is in session 1? Okay, the origin of the plain nails. This is P5 work. Where did they come from? The plain nails. By the way, the plain nails are the ones who are also known as the Nail Hamites. Where did these people or this tribal group come from? Okay, let's see. The people came from southern Ethiopia, or you can say they came from Ethiopia. And this is a subgroup of the Nilotes, okay, who came from Ethiopia. Remember, all of these groups of the Nilotes are connected to Nile Valley, or Nile valleys, okay? Nile Valley countries, including Uganda, Sudan, South Sudan, Egypt, and Ethiopia as well. So they came from southern Ethiopia, and when they entered Uganda, they used the northeastern direction. Now, there are some things that you should note. The planets are also referred to Nile Hamites. And why? The reason is simple. These people, when they were coming, remember the first ethnic group to come to East Africa, those were the Hamites. Now, when the planets also came, they were following, or they traced the movement of the Hamites, and hence being influenced partly by the Hamites. And that's where they get this other name of the Nile Hamites, because they traced the movement of the Hamites and they ended up being influenced by the Hamites, or by them. And that's why they are called the Nile Hamites. But their original name is plain Nilotes. We also have to know, why are they called plain Nilotes? The answer is simple. These people settled or lived in plain areas. They settled on plains. They loved these places that were flat areas, low, flat land. Okay? Because of several reasons, as we shall see. So I've explained these Hamites are called plainers because they settled on plains of East Africa. And these people were mainly cattle keepers, or they carried out pastoralism. Now we have to know, I have to show you this is a plain area. This is how a plain looks like. These people loved to settle in such places. First of all, the nature of their activity. They used to keep large numbers of animals that you can call cattle keeping or pastoralism. When I talk of pastoralism, what do I mean? I mean a traditional way of keeping large numbers of animals as a way of life or as a way of living. Do we have such people in Uganda who keep large numbers of animals as a way of life? Yes, we do. For instance, our friends, the Karimojong. We also have the Bahima of Uganda. They also keep large numbers of animals. But I want you to note the Bahima don't keep moving from place to place. For them, they stay in one place. But the Karimojong keep moving from place to place in order to search for water and pasture for their animals. Now, my friends, this is the activity that these people mainly did. But time came and some of these people changed from pastoralism as a system of keeping only animals, and they adopted to mixed. They started also growing crops, as we shall see. Now, why did the plain-nails settle on plains of East Africa or in semi-arid areas? One, first of all, these places were open land without people. The places were large without people. So they needed enough space due to the nature of their economic activity. They needed a place which was not having many people. And these were the plains. Are we there? Or the semi-arid areas of East Africa. The other reason was these places had pasture for their animals, or on which their animals would feed. So the plains had enough or plenty of pasture for these animals. And since these places were open, they never had vectors. So they needed places that were not having vectors to disturb their animals or their cattle. Are we there? Those are some of the reasons to why the plain-nails decided to settle on plains. One, I said they were large areas without people. That was one point. Two, they had plenty of pasture for their animals. Remember, these were cattle keepers. They needed places that had pasture for their animals to feed on. Now, we can get to the next session. Why did these people leave southern Ethiopia or Ethiopia? Ethiopia is a country just next to East Africa. It is actually in the north of Kenya. So when we are asked about countries that neighbor East Africa in the north, we have there Ethiopia and as well South Sudan. So why did they leave Ethiopia? And this is what we started with. Never fail such a number. Since they were cattle keepers, what was their main reason to why they left their homeland? Okay, I guess you have all the correct answers. Now, one, they migrated to look for water and pasture for their animals. That is a point that I expect everyone to have, and it was the main reason to why they left. Since they were cattle keepers, they were looking for places with water and pasture for their animal. Now, why did that come? You know, time came and there was prolonged drought in their homeland. There was a lot of sunshine. That meant, what did it mean? It meant that there was no grass, or the grass was dried up by the drought or the strong sunshine, and therefore their animals lacked food. They lacked pasture to feed on. So they had to move to places that had plenty of pasture for their animals. The other reason was the outbreak of epidemic diseases also forced some of the plainels to leave their homeland. Also, there are those who came because of love for adventure. They expected to have different feelings, different experiences in these new areas of settlement. So they moved simply because due to love for adventure. There are very many reasons. There are those who were influenced by friends, or you can say bandwagon effect. Bandwagon effect. So they moved because of friends. Friends had gone, so they had also to go. Now also we have some of them migrated because of internal conflicts. Can we spell the word conflicts together? Let's go. Conflicts. C-O-N-F-L-I-C-T-S. Conflicts. So some migrated because of internal conflicts. My uncle hates me. My uncle is bewitching me. My aunt has done this and this. So they ended up saying, no, let me leave these people and I go to look for a better place. Some migrated because of external conflicts. Now, besides the family issues, there are those other tribal groups that attacked these ones. So they decided to say, now let's move to different places, and they ended up coming to Uganda, to Kenya, to Tanzania, and East Africa at large. Are we together, my dear learners? Okay. Now, there are very many reasons as to why, and as I told you, these reasons, some of them are constant, can be applied anywhere, apart from to look for water and pasture. That was specifically to cattle keepers. Then to look for fertile soil, that was specifically for crop growers, the lakes of the Bantu. Are we there, my dear learners? Now, let's see what happens next. The next session, main activity, as I told you earlier, their main activity was pastoralism. Do you still remember the definition of pastoralism? That is, as in my illustration, the traditional way of keeping large numbers of animals as a way of life, as a way of living, is what is known as pastoralism. Or if the spelling disturbs you, you can say cattle keeping. Are we together? So that was their main occupation. And as I told you, some of these people changed from cattle keeping to mixed farming. What do I mean by mixed farming? I simply mean the growing of crops and also rearing of animals on the same piece of land. Now, what made these people to change, to have an idea that, okay, let's also have growing of crops besides cattle keeping? These are the reasons to why these people changed. One, they settled in areas with fertile soil. When they came to East Africa is a blessed place, is a blessed area. It has plenty of resources. So one of them is fertile soil. When they settled in such places, they say, no, let's also we grow crops since they can grow well in this place. Two, they settled in areas with favorable climate or good climate, or areas that received plenty of rainfall. So they tried to grow crops and they grew very well. And that is one other reason to why they changed to mixed farming, because most places of East Africa experience or receive plenty of rainfall. And now, like, which tribe changed? We have in Uganda the Iteso. The Iteso people changed to mixed farming. They are found, most of them are found in eastern Uganda, in districts like Soroti. They do both, they keep animals and as well carry out farming. Now, they were also influenced by the Bantu. When these people came to Uganda, they found the Bantu living in the intercastrian areas and they were growing crops. So now they had to copy, or they copied, they were influenced by the Bantu. Just like you can have your friend in class, and this friend of yours is well disciplined and is your neighbor. Now you used to be selfish, but you see your neighbor, everything shares with the friends. You can also learn and say, now, I also want to be like this friend of mine. And now when you learn to share with your friend, it means that you are influenced by your neighbor. So they were influenced by their neighbors, the Bantu. The introduction of improved quality seeds. These seeds that grow very fast. A short time, 2 months, you harvest. So that also prompted them to change or to shift to mixed farming. Are we together, my friends? Hope everyone is following. I don't want to leave anyone behind. Now, we are about to come to the end, and we have to see which are some of these tribes that belong to the plain Nilotes. Now I have them in Uganda. We have the lakes of the Langi, the lakes of the Karimojong, the lakes of the Iteso. All these people belong to the same ethnicity. So one time I'll come and ask you how the Langi and Iteso similar in terms of ethnicity. Be able to tell me both belong to the plain Nilotes. What about in Kenya? Are they also there? Yes, they are. We have the lakes of the Masai, the lakes of the Samburu, and the lakes of Turkana. All of those belong to the... Now, there are some tribes here that up to now carry out pastoralism, nomadic pastoralism, or we call them pastoral tribes. They keep moving with their animals from place to place. The lakes of the Karimojong, the lakes of the Maasai in Kenya, the lakes of the Turkana, the lakes of the Samburu, all of those are pastoral tribes of East Africa. Now, you are going to see magic. There is a tribe that is found in Kenya and as well in Tanzania. Are you able to see that tribe? Now, the Maasai. The Maasai are found in both Kenya and Tanzania. Do you know how that happened? It happened during the demarcation of the boundaries, whereby some families were separated. Like our friends, the Sabine. Some are in Uganda, some are in Kenya. You find the father is in Uganda and some family members are in Kenya. Those were some of the negative effects of the demarcation of the boundaries by the Europeans or by the colonialists. So Maasai are found in both Tanzania and Kenya. Then in Uganda you have the Langi, the Karimojong, and out of this you have the Karimojong, the Maasai, the Turkana. Those are some of the pastoral tribes that belong to the plain Nilotes. Now, as I come to an end, this is the last part, the effects. What happened when these people came? I told you talk about population, their activity, their culture, their language. Are we there? What happened to the population? One, they led to increased population in East Africa. That is correct. What about where they left? They led to low or depopulation in their homeland. Also, you talk about their activity. These people increased, they brought new breeds of cattle. And when they came here, they also introduced the activity of stealing. They would go and steal cattle from different communities. That was a bad effect. And that's what we call cat rustling. Cat rustling. Are we there? They also displaced the people in East Africa. Traditionally, you would gain more land by fighting your neighbor. You displace them. So when they came in East Africa, they pushed some people they found in East Africa, the likes of the Bushmen. Are we there? They also introduced new cultures. That's, you talk of the language they speak. They also introduced, they led to intermarriages. When they came, they intermarried with the people they found in East Africa, the Cushites, some Bantu, so they started intermarrying them. And those are some of the effects. Now, some effects are good, some effects are bad. You are able to see which one is good. For example, they introduced new breeds of cattle. That was a good contribution. Two, they also introduced new languages. That was also good. Then the bad one, increased cat rustling, increased population, displaced people, where they settled. Now I have organized for you an activity that I really want you to do well, and there are only 60 numbers. Hopefully, we are going to you are going to settle and you answer these questions very well. See you in the next lesson. I remain Waiswa Sadama.